Hey friends, it's Laura here from Lalo Yoga and Wellness. Welcome to today's yoga practice. Sort of targeting our practice today towards my friends and myself, Generation X. The thing with this generation is that we've been the first generation to really be actively using gyms and really putting a big focus on our health throughout our lives. And we're not slowing down. But we do sometimes face some issues with things like arthritis, mobility, just some of the things that come with aging. And yoga is a fantastic way to help combat some of those signs of aging. One of the things that I highly recommend and do use myself are props. So using some blocks that can help alleviate some of the pressure that we put on our joints, particularly our hands and our wrists. And then occasionally maybe getting a thicker pad to put underneath the knee if we have some knee issues, or even slide it under our backside if we have a little bit of hip issues while we're sitting down. It's super important to make sure that you have a really good mat. I recommend having a stable, thick mat, but not a cushiony mat. Use the cushion for the joints, but have your mat be more stable, because a cushiony mat can really stretch on you, slide, and actually create a less stable surface for you to work on. And that doesn't feel good for anybody's joints. Let's get started with today's practice. I'm going to start today's practice in a seated position, any position that you feel comfortable with. I don't like to start with my legs crossed because, again, those hip joints just don't want to go there, especially when they're not very warm, like right now at the very beginning of a practice. Find anything that feels comfortable for you. So that might mean legs are stretched out. It might mean legs are crossed. If you feel more comfortable with that, go for it. We're just going to take a few moments to drop into our bodies, get a little more connected with noticing how we're feeling and honoring that. Some days you feel super energetic, loose, relaxed, ready to really get out there and tear it up, and then other days not so much. But we have to tune into our bodies first to see how we're feeling. So just noticing if you are feeling a little bit tight or achy, honoring that. Maybe you're sitting up higher on a block. This is a great way to elevate the hips. If you feel like you need a little bit more space for those hips. So do what you need to do. Get really checked into the body. Maybe the eyes are open. Maybe you let them close. That's up to you. And then we start to take a few moments to check in with our thoughts. Just noticing if we're feeling a little harassed, busy. It's very common at this stage of life to have a lot of things going on. We've got our careers, we've got our parents maybe that we're trying to take care of. We've got adult kids, young adult kids, maybe even grandkids, pulling us in a lot of different directions. We really need to take the time to let ourselves let go of some of that busyness, craziness, and chaos, and just be for a moment. We start to tap into our breath. Maybe we start elongating each breath, breathing in a bit deeper, feeling some energy come into the body, lifting up through the spine as we breathe in. And then letting go of tension and stress in our thoughts and in our muscles as we breathe out. Give yourself a few deep breaths here. Really settle yourself. And on your next exhale, open the mouth a little bit and sigh that breath out. It's a physical and mental signal that you're about to move into something different. Let's go ahead and take another breath, this time adding some movement, reaching the hands out and up, maybe blinking those eyes open if they're closed, following the fingers with our eyes, and then we exhale, drop the chin. Check in with your neck, see how that's feeling. Let's take one more inhale. This time on your exhale, take your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you and start to look over your shoulder. Giving your spine a gentle twist. We always want to spend some time moving our spine in every direction to help improve our mobility here. Let's take a deep breath, face front. Exhale, taking our right hand to our left knee, looking over the left shoulder. Using your left hand to just give you a little bit of structure behind your back, some support. Inhale, reaching both hands high. Exhale, just let those hands start to drop down beside you. If your knees are out wide, use your hands to just gently help those knees together and then come down on top of the knees. Maybe this is a point where you use one or two of these great little cushions to give some extra push to your knees. You're going to tuck the toes under and really give those feet a good stretch. Sitting nice and tall through the spine. Let's take a deep breath. Reach the hands high. Lace the fingers up above, bringing your pointer and your thumb together to make an arrow mudra. Take a deep breath and reach high. Exhale, leaning to your left, bringing your left bottom rib close to your left hip. Inhale and lift. Exhale, right rib to right hip. Let's do that again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, coming up to the top once again. We're going to step our left foot forward. As we exhale, turn away from your forward thigh, looking over your back hand, thumbs are up. Just finding a little bit deeper twist. Inhale, lift, come to the center. Exhale, move that twist to the other side. Have to challenge your balance a little bit here. Trying to maintain length in the spine. Inhale, reaching both hands high. Find that arrow mudra, bringing the hands down to heart center. Let's put the left knee down and step out on the right. Inhale, lift the hands high. Exhale, split those hands. Let's take that twist, turning away from your forward thigh. Thumbs are up toward the ceiling. And we're trying to maintain the hips toward the front of the mat. Taking the gaze all the way over those back fingertips. Inhale and lift. Exhale, take that twist to the other side. Looking over the back fingers. A little bit of balance here, working your core. Inhale and lift both hands high. Return to that arrow mudra and bring the hands to heart center. We're going to tuck our left toes under. Press up out of this and just keep the knees bent. Step to the top of the mat as we move into ragdoll. Keeping this generous bend at the knees. Start to hinge a little further. Letting your belly rest on your thighs. You might need to shift your weight a little more into the heels. Now we let the arms release and the head hang. Reaching up with opposite hands to each elbow.
providing some extra stretch. You can always do this in a chair. You can use ragdoll in place of a forward fold. Feel the points of contact on the bottom of your feet. Big toe, pinky toe, and heel in each foot. Notice you probably have a little more weight back in the heels to counterbalance the upper body. You can move the head around if that's feeling a little tight. And then we just relax the hands. No pressure in the wrists here. Wrists are one of the most common places where people start to feel some discomfort, especially if you are new to yoga or if you have arthritis in those wrists or your hands. So we're going to take care of those wrists today. Let's start to lift the hips high and find some length in the legs coming into a forward fold. Maybe you bring your hands behind your legs to draw your chest a bit closer. Maybe you continue to let the hands just hang toward the floor. Your gaze is toward your knees, or maybe even through the knees, toward the back of the mat. Let's take your fingertips, place them on the front of the shins. Lift your entire upper body to come into a halfway lift. Nice and long through the spine. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, release back down into that forward fold. You may still have a bit of a bend at your knees here. That's totally fine. Just looking for some length along the back of those legs. Slowly begin to roll it up, one vertebra at a time. A little bit of squeeze through the glutes as you start to roll up, gently pressing the hips forward to protect your lower back. Bring your shoulders up to the ears, toward the back, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Slide them down your spine, letting your hands face forward, coming into that strong mountain pose. Bring your attention to your feet once again. Find those points of contact, big toe, pinky toe, and heel. A little more even in the feet right now. Take a nice big deep breath up. Cactusing your arms, small back bend through the upper back. Inhale and reach. Exhale, reaching back through the right hand forward with the left hand, taking a standing twist. This time palms are facing down. Arms are at the shoulder line, and we're still working those hips toward the front. Inhale, sweep the right hand down, pick up your left hand. Exhale, cactus the arms. Still have that little squeeze in the glutes, protecting your back. Inhale and reach. Exhale, left hand reaches back, standing twist on the other side. Inhale, sweeping that left hand down, face front. Pick up that other hand. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale and reach. Exhale, hands coming to heart center. Take a breath here. See how you're feeling. If you still feel a little bit tight, maybe take a swing through the arms, loosen things up. Yoga is not about being perfect in your poses, making your poses as hard as you can possibly make them. It's really about just being easy and into your body. Maybe you challenge it sometimes, maybe some days you're keeping it a little bit lower intensity so you can just move your body. Let's find some stillness here in the center. Bring those hands to heart center. Find your arrow mudra once again. We're going to go into an upward salute. Scoop the hands down, the deep breath, and come all the way back up for that upward salute. As we exhale, we release the hands coming into your forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to a forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up to volcano.
Exhale, hands come to heart center. Take a breath, find that arrow mudra. Inhale, upward salute. Just building a little heat in the body. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to take that one more time, arrow mudra. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep those hands out and up. Volcano. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, lift your right leg and take a really big step back. Heel is up. Reach the hands high while you scoop your right hip forward to come into a crescent lunge. Just let the shoulder blades drop down toward your backside so we keep the neck nice and long. Take a deep breath. Reach, reach, reach to those fingers. Exhale, hinging slightly from the hip, coming into an airplane lunge. You're going to bring those hands up higher than the back. Palms are facing down. Take a half step in and then begin to lift the right leg up to come into warrior three. Lifting the right leg as high as you feel comfortable with. Put your attention back on the left foot, points of contact. Exhale, step the feet side by side with about 10 inches between them. Sweep the arms up, coming into chair pose. Take a quick look down. Make sure you can see your toes. If you can't quite see them, maybe stand taller or shift your weight back. Reach those hands high. Lift that chest up. This is your pose of defiance. So find that defiant spirit and bring it out. Exhale, returning to mountain. Hands come to heart center. Arrow mudra. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Breath to movement. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep out and up. Volcano. Exhale, hands to heart. One breath. Arrow mudra. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep out and up. Volcano. Exhale, hands to heart. One more round. Arrow mudra. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep out and up. Volcano. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lifting your left leg high. Take that really big step back. Back heel stays off the ground. Scoop your left hip forward. Reach the hands high for your crescent lunge. Your front knee should be bent here. And we want to get it over your ankle, not beyond the toes. Take a deep breath, reach through those fingers, slight hinge forward, coming into that airplane lunge. Little squeeze here between the shoulder blades, open up your chest. Half step in, and then we lift that leg up off the floor to come into your warrior three. Focus on lifting your left leg higher versus dropping the chest lower. And then we step into our chair pose. Exhale to mountain. Pause here. That little release through the body. And then returning the body to the center. Inhale, sitting into your chair pose. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Our challenge on this particular series is to keep our hands at heart center throughout. So a little more challenge to your balance here. Inhale, pick up your right foot, Exhale, step back, crescent, keeping those hands at heart. Scoop the hips under. Bend the back knee, press out into your warrior three. You always have the option to take that little half step in to get there. One more big breath in. Exhale, return to chair. Inhale, picking up that right foot again, step back, coming into a runner's lunge. So we're going in a little lower here. We're staying at an angle, and we're really letting our backside sink toward the floor to open up the hip. Let's drop the right knee down to the floor. Maybe you want to use your cushion for the knee right here. Inhale, lift up through the chest. We want to maintain hands here at heart center if possible. Top of the foot comes down, and then we shift our weight back. Letting your left toes pop up off the ground, bring the upper body over your left leg for a kneeling pyramid. Lengthen out through the neck. Inhale, shift your weight forward, returning to your low lunge. Maintaining your hands here at heart center, turn toward your forward thigh and bring your right elbow toward the left knee. Maybe bring it to the top of the knee, maybe to the outside of the knee. You decide. We're going to tuck those back toes under on the right foot. Lengthen out through your right leg, revolved runner's lunge. Open up the right hip. Inhale, lift the chest, scooping the hip forward, revolved crescent lunge. Bend that back knee, revolved chair. Inhale, sweep the hands high, chair pose. Get to let go of those hands. Exhale, mountain pose. Take a breath. Inhale, sitting into your chair. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, lift the left leg. Big step back, coming into that runner's lunge. This time letting the left hip open up. Let yourself sink into it. Inhale, scoop your left hip forward, lift up through the chest to come into your crescent lunge. Lengthen out a little bit through that back leg. Let yourself sink into it. Bend the back knee, pushing into your warrior three. Again, option is to take that half step forward. Take your time to find your balance. Sometimes balance doesn't come that easily. So do what you need to do to find your balance. Foot is flexed. We're going to lift that left leg a bit higher. Chair pose. Lift up through the left leg. Step back into your runner's lunge once again. Dropping the left knee down. Maybe you're using your cushion. Lift up through the chest. Top of the left foot on the mat. Low lunge. Inhale, shift your weight back. Dropping your chest over the right leg. You can let those right toes pop up off the floor. Maybe you feel a nice stretch at the back of your leg in your hamstrings. Inhale, come back into your low lunge. Turn toward the forward thigh and drop that left elbow toward the right knee. Let's tuck the toes under. Lengthen out the back leg. Revolved runner's lunge. Inhale, lift the chest. Revolved crescent. Bend the back knee. Stepping into that revolved chair. Inhale, sweep the hands high. Chair pose. Exhale, coming into mountain. Loosen it up. Might feel a little sweat coming on. And then we return to stillness. Inhale, lifting up through your right leg. Take a big step back. Let's drop down onto the knee. Slide all the way down to the ground. And turn and face the long edge of your mat. You're sitting at the back edge of your mat. We want to take the feet out wide. Maybe you use your hands right here to give you a little stability as we work on our hip mobility. Mobility different than flexibility. Flexibility is your muscles' ability to stretch through movement. Mobility is your joints' ability to move through a movement. We're going to windshield wiper our legs here to focus on our hip mobility. Now you might find yourself sort of walking your body toward the edge of your mat. Before you get all the way off your mat, just reset to the back. Now, a couple options. You can stay right here, or you can take those hands off the floor. Give yourself a little bit more of a challenge. If you want a bit more of a challenge, maybe you come into your windshield wiper and lift up. You can use your hands to help you. And then we sit back down, come to the center, and drop it over to the other side. Maybe you want to use your knee pad or two and come back down. You want even more of a challenge, see if you can take those hands away. Windshield wiper, lift up, come back down. Center, windshield wiper, lift up. You might find it's easier on one side than the other. That's pretty common. We typically, throughout our day, we might favor one side over the other or use one side over the other. So it's more accustomed to the workload than what our other side might be. So if you need to use your hand on one side, feel free. Let's pause right here. We're going to bring those knees a little closer together and just swing them around. Hands come on top of our shins, and we begin to roll down onto the floor. Bringing both knees toward the chest. Hands on top of your knees, gently rocking side to side. Letting the floor release your lower back. Let's take the knees around in a big circle. Draw them in close. Press them away. And then take that circle around the other way. And then we pause in the center. Let's take a deep breath, deep enough to push your thighs away from you. And then exhale, drawing the knees in, really push out all the air you just breathed in. Do it again. And exhale. Let's bring the knees back to neutral and let your feet drop to the edges of your mat. Let's take your arms out wide like the letter T, and we're going to go right back into our windshield wiper. This time you've got all the support of the floor helping you out. So you might be able to take those windshield wipers a little bit deeper. Let's let the knees stay on the right side. We want to keep both shoulders on the ground. So if you feel that left shoulder starting to lift up a little bit, maybe bring the knees up a bit higher. You could even slide your blocks underneath each knee to give you some extra support. If you feel like you want a deeper stretch, you can take your right foot and just set it on the outside of your left leg, still maintaining both shoulders on the ground. If you want to go a little bit deeper into your twist, you can take your gaze over the left hand. And if your head is turned to the side, let's bring it back to the center. If your foot is on the outside of your left leg, remove it. Bring both knees back up to the center. And then we start the windshield wiper once again. This time we're going to let the knees stay on the left side, and you have the same options. You might want to bring that left foot on the outside of the right leg. Maybe you want to turn your head to the right, deepening the twist. And if your head is turned to the side, bring it back to neutral. If your foot's on the outside of the right leg, take it off. Let's bring both knees back up to the center. Give yourself just a couple more windshield wipers. And then we're going to bring those legs to stillness. Let your knees just fall together here. Take a deep breath. Reach through those fingers. Maybe rotate through your wrists rather. And then let those arms just fall toward the ground wherever they naturally want to go. Restorative pose is sometimes a little bit gentler on your lower back than corpse pose for Shavasana, so feel free to stay right here. Or maybe you want to extend the legs out if that's feeling good. You might even want to roll onto your side. You decide what feels best for you. So we start a quick scan of the body, starting at the top of the head and letting it relax across your forehead, around the eyes, through your jaw, right down into your neck, your throat, all the way to your shoulders. We continue to release our muscles, sliding down the arms, through your elbows, your wrists, and your fingertips. Feel your heart in your chest. Rise and fall of your belly as you breathe in and out, slowing that breath. And continue that softness down into your hips, through each leg. To your knees, your ankles, and your toes. Allow yourself a moment to just be. Let yourself float in your Shavasana. You can stay here in your Shavasana for as long as you would like, and when you feel ready to come back to your body, to your day, put a little movement in your hands and your wrists. Begin to slowly make your way back up to a seated position, whatever position feels good for you. Let your chin drop slightly, sitting up tall once again. And let the left ear drop to the left shoulder, chin to the chest, taking that right ear to the right shoulder.
Chin to the chest. Let the eyes begin to open if they are closed. And we take that deep breath up. Exhale, bringing the hands here to our heart center. May you have peace in your thoughts, kindness in your words, and hope in your hearts. From my heart to yours, namaste. I hope you enjoyed today's practice, focusing a little bit on taking it easy on those joints. If you do happen to have arthritis, it can seem daunting sometimes when they're feeling stiff to put them through this kind of movement. But if we don't keep moving, we'll stop moving completely. So take yourself through that gentle movement and keep those joints moving. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you comment below, share it to anyone you think can benefit from it, and I will see you on our next video.